Okay, well, thankful we got another opportunity this week to see if we can find a way to win a game. This is doesn't get any easier though. This is a good football team, similar to us. I think they're better than their record. Um, Not much has changed when you watch NC State. They're tough, they're physical, they're aggressive, they're well coached, and really know their scheme well. Looking at the defensive side, I mean, they're an odd front, double cloud. You got to do a great job having pressure answers against these guys every single year we play them, whether it be in the run or the pass game. A lot of post snap discipline, but big strong guys up front that set the tone. Aggressive downhill linebackers. I think 11 Peyton. He's a game wrecker. He is fun to watch. I hate we got to play against him, but he's one of those guys when you watch tape, you just kind of have to just tip your hat. I mean, this is a great football player. Maybe the fastest guy on the field. I mean, he can absolutely fly, and so I just got a lot of respect for his game. He's been there a long time, so I've seen him a bunch, and I think he's a great player. Gonna have a good future after NC State as well. And they do a good job in the secondary. Again, they do a great job from a disguise standpoint with their double cloud, odd type of front. They can get to a lot of things. You've got to be ready for double cloud, and you got to be ready for cover zero at any time. They mix it up and do a really good job with that. But really not much different. Play tough, play physical. Again, well coached, where they're supposed to be, challenge you physically and schematically. And then over on the other side, new offensive coordinator, but still a lot of similarities. They're probably more 10 personnel than they've been in a long time. Mostly 10 and 11 personnel. Not as much, maybe 12 as they've been in some previous years, but mostly in the past we're pretty much an 11 team. But this year it's been a lot of 10 personnel. But everything starts in the run game for them. I mean, they're physical up front, a lot of stretch. That's something they've always been committed to, and trying to split you, some stretch and some midline and some zone and swap zone, and all the boots and stuff that come off of that. You're going to see a lot of counter against these guys, and again, just big offensive linemen that can move their feet. They got three backs that they've been rolling in there. You've seen all of them have made plays. 28, 2, and 34. So it's a challenge, a challenging scheme that challenges our discipline. That I think they do as good a job, every year of anybody in really, schematically challenging our discipline. They've had an open date, so I'm sure there'll be a few things there that we've got that we probably haven't seen that we'll have to do a good job of. Receiver-wise, they're playing a bunch of guys. Concepcion, number 10, it seems like he's kind of been the guy that's emerged for them as kind of their top guy, but they've spread it out to a bunch of guys. But biggest thing is just trying to find a way to not let them get comfortable in the run game, and shorten the game and possess the ball. So we got to get back on track on third down. We've been a really, really good third down team all year outside of last week. So that'll be a big challenge for us, and try not to let them have any big play explosives as well. But another, good football team that I think is well coached, and kind of a typical NC State team that's aggressive and going to challenge you in all three phases of the game.
Speaking of getting back on track in run game, Justin Maskell went out. Is he going to be able to go?
Not sure yet. I mean, so he's today's first day in pad, so we'll see where he is today. And I'd say he's day to day. The only guy I can say is definitely out right now is Antonio. I mean, he's going to be out for a while, unfortunately. So got him back and see what he can do. He made some nice plays, but it's not his ankle, so that's a positive. It's more of kind of underneath his toe area, so he's probably going to be a few weeks. So hopefully we'll get him back maybe end of the season, or maybe the last couple games. I don't know. We just have to see how he responds. It'd be kind of week to week with him. And then Mickens is going to be out. He had a I don't know if anybody in here has ever had appendicitis, but he had and they had to take his appendix out yesterday. So so that was, he just stomach ache and hurting, and he had appendicitis. So he'd be fine, but you got to heal up from getting that taken out. And I don't know like I said, I don't know if anybody in here has had that happen before, but that's a tough break for us there for sure. So that we'll get them ready. Those two for sure will be out, and then you still got other guys that you already know about that have been out, Cole and Walker, and then a couple other guys day to day. So we'll see.
How do you think Root and Cade filled in once Maskell went out, and then what would be kind of the plan at safety for Mickens?
Yeah, Root did fine. I mean, they were a heavy, it was heavy personnel, and so we just needed to have another big end out there. And we got pretty good depth inside at D tackle, and so Root can give us some flexibility there to pop out there and give us a little bigger body against a team that playing a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of max protection, in that game. So he just gave us a bigger presence, and Cade's done fine as well, but we certainly missed Maskell. We missed XT too. He's pretty good. So good to get him back. And so.
Given the challenges that NC State poses with the stretch and all that counters,
Yep.
does that challenge your run fits that kind of were inconsistent?
Big time. Big time. Oh yeah. Yeah, these guys, like I said, they challenge you as much as anybody schematically, because it's not just, they run all kind of counters. I mean, the guard tight end, the guard tackle, jet counters, and then they run the swaps, then they run the split lead. They run a little bit of that. Midline, they'll run some midline. So they do a lot of stuff, but bread and butter everything comes off that stretch, and you can get cut in half, if you're not really disciplined there. So the fits and tackling is always at a premium, but you got to do a great job of fitting it up against these guys because they force you to.
Was the issue Saturday less up front and more at the second, third levels? Yeah, we definitely we just had some bad. I mean, the first big run, that was the only play in the whole first half, and we're out of our gap. We got everybody. We had one guy run to the same gap as another guy, and they found it, and we had caught us in a bad angle on the backside, so that one hit. But they made the adjustments, and then there were some things in the second half where they created some extra bodies, and we just didn't get. Some guys trying to do too much. The biggest thing, just trying to do a little too much, and next thing you know, you're in the wrong spot. And we didn't really give up a lot of big runs, but we just, they were efficient. And next thing you know, you're 3rd and 1, and the clock, and we couldn't get off the field. That was probably the biggest problem, was we couldn't put it together. We couldn't finish. We screwed it up offensively. Defensively played really good in the first half, and then second half couldn't get the ball. 2 drives in the third quarter in a minute and 20. You were asking me about tempo. It's hard to play with tempo when you don't have the ball. And you're poor in third down, right? So it was our worst third down game on both sides of the ball. And so we got to get back on track right there, for sure. And then we just got to finish. We got to finish, in position to finish. Even with all the stuff that we had, we got a 10-point lead with 8.5 minutes. We got to find a way to finish the game, and give them credit because they stayed patient, trying to shorten the game, and they were able to. And I think some of our guys got a little frustrated and trying to do too much. Next thing you know, you're not where you need to be, and it's, instead of 1 yard, it's 4 yards. So something we got to learn from.
Dabo, you said you guys weren't deserving of the win on Saturday. What needs to happen this week to make you guys more deserving of a win this Saturday?
it's a simple answer. I know none of y'all want a simple answer, but it's really simple, and that is let's win the turnover margin. We literally, I know I'm not being, we're last, dead last, and we got a really good team. But it's not that you put your head in the sand. You got other issues. Like we got a couple spots we got to do a little better. But the reason we are where we are is turnovers. We're last in the country in fumbles, and it's not only last. It's where they happen too. And as a result, we're last in red zone. We're dead last. That's your problem. And it all goes back to turnovers. If you hold the ball for a millisecond longer, we're having a different. We've had back 2 losses in overtime, double overtime against good teams, and it comes down to, the game really isn't complicated when you're. Sometimes you're just not good enough. Sometimes you just, you don't match up well or, whatever. Personnel's not good enough in some areas, but that's not our problem. We're good enough to win every single game, and we're good enough to line up and play with anybody. But it's hard to win, and it's really hard to win when you have the, catastrophic turnovers that we've had. You watched Monday Night Football last night. It was funny. They put a graphic up, and San Francisco, number 1 in the NFL. 5-1, number 1 in the league in turnover margin. The team they were playing was 2-4. Vikings, they were 2-4, and they were 29th in the league in turnover margin. So, and these are the pros. So, this is, razor thin margin for error, right? Well, what happened in the game last night? San Francisco had 3 turnovers. They were -2 in the turnover margin, and they got beat. And that's, good. That's what happens. There's no greater equalizer than that. And that's been a real problem for us. We're better than we were last year, for sure, without a question. But if you look back at last year, we took care of the ball better. We were number 1 in the country in red zone, I think, until maybe the last game of the season. And we were really good in third down, just like we've been really good in third down this year. We just hadn't taken care of the ball. And it's really frustrating. But and it's a simple answer. It's not a simple problem, but it's a simple answer. To kind of where we are. So to answer your question, we need to take care of the football, and if we can just squeeze it a little longer, fundamentally, protect it a little bit better. And it's not like we're throwing a bunch of interceptions. We hadn't thrown one in forever till Chappell spoke up last week. You knew that was coming. It's not like we're making a bunch of bad decisions and throwing the ball up and guys dropping balls, and it's not like that. It's just some weird stuff that's gone against us, and and it's hard to win because everybody's got good players and good coaches, and we're playing good teams. So, but that's what's put us where we are, and if we can get that turned around, we'll win some football games.
Is that tough though? Because how do you even coach that? Because obviously everybody knows you're supposed to hold on to the football. The guys aren't trying to give it away. All of the practice video I have of you guys is ball security stuff, ball cam. So how do you coach that? How do they improve on that other than holding on to the football?
Yeah, that's the main thing. You just keep coaching. You point it out. You can't work it any more than we work it. We got it all. Becky from Gaffney told me I need to give them all a ball. She's from Gaffney, right? Is it Greer? Gaffney. Yeah, Becky from Gaffney told me that I got to give them all a ball to carry around to class and sleep with it too. So maybe we'll try that. But we do everything. We video everything. It's a million ball security drills. We do that. It's just sometimes, like I said, this is a tough game. It's a tough game, and it hurts to lose any time. But when you know that you're in position to win and you're not quite finishing, it's you've got some self-inflicted, but you got to give the other team credit. I mean, they're working hard too, and it's just been the timeliness of some of them and how it's happened, and it's not just a sack; it's a sack, fumble, 70-yard touchdown. I mean, we've had some tough breaks there, but that's football, and we've had 12 really, really good seasons in a row around here, and we've got a lot of breaks along the way, and sometimes the breaks don't go your way, and this is kind of where we are the first 7 games of the season, and it's why we're 4-3, and again, it's our best players, but we've won a lot of games with these guys too, and so you just point it out, and you coach it, and again, if we were making a bunch of bad decisions and things like that, it'd be different. But this is a contact collision sport, and we've got to find a way to minimize it and just win the margin. But it's been a painful process to this point.
Beyond the turnovers in the red zone, how would you rate y'all's efficiency? It seems like there have been quite a few tackles for loss and penalties that have put y'all in some more difficult situations in the red zone.
Yep. We've had a couple ball handling issues. We had the snap. We had a couple penalties, and most of it's been on the one. That's why I was joking. Maybe we jump offside next time we're on the one and go from the 6. First and go from the 6. Try a different strategy, but I think just keeping our poise down there, and that's where you got to be at your best. And we've not been, and I think it's just a combination of all of a sudden guys start pressing a little bit and maybe just lost a little bit of confidence from all the stuff, the miscues that we've had, and so it's one of those things that can become a little bit mental, I think, and so we got to work through that and keep working it, and we do every week, a lot of red zone, and we've got to carry what we're doing on the practice field into game day, and you just got to continue to lean on your guys and trust them and coach them and see if we can get it done.
Yeah, but how's Will's arm? It looked like he kind of came off the field one time, kind of had that low, like it was a stinger or something.
Will Shipley?
Yeah.
He's fine.
You mentioned on your radio show wanting to take another step with Cade physically this offseason and weight and everything. How do you think that'll help him? And is that leading to some of the stuff now? But you saying
he needs to get stronger. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely get stronger. I mean, last year, he's that's one of the reasons last year we were trying to kind of bring him along at a pace. You don't want to put a guy out there before he's really ready, and skill wise he's been ready since he got here, but physically he needed to develop a little bit, and he had a great year. I mean, he's made a lot of strides, but he needs that's a part of his process. I mean, he needs another full year of development and just getting a little bit stronger, and it's going to continue to help him. So, because like I said, he's just a little more collision resistance and things like that, and so as he continues to physically develop, I think that'll help him. So he's going through a little bit of a growth process, but as I've said many times, this kid's super talented, man, and he ain't gonna forget all this. It'll make him better. We'll look back on it, and we'll be able to say, man, boy, that was a tough year. Had some tough breaks, but he's got a lot of great days ahead of him. He's got a lot of great plays ahead of him. He's going to play football for a while. And, I really love this kid. I mean, he is a ultra competitive dude, and he cares, and just going to get better. Just going to get better. And his miscues have kind of overshadowed his great plays. I mean, this guy's made some plays. He's made some big time plays that you just go, okay, most normal people can't do that. And, so there's a lot of encouraging things, but, in the midst of, where we are at a place like Clemson, it's frustrating.
you know, especially when you're right there in position to win. If you weren't good enough and you're just getting your butt handed to you, it'd be different. But it's not the case.